Hello guys, welcome to a new video on Tower of God New World, and this is going to be a tier list update video. I added a new rank, as you can see here from the screen, and I also moved some units in the up to Revolution 3 and up to Revolution 6 sections to reflect some changes brought from the new units, let's say. There could be many more changes to make, but for now I think I tried to address the most relevant ones, and I'm going to cover those in this video. First, I just wanted to quickly talk about the new rank that you can see here above S+. It's irregular. I decided to call it like that because it looked cooler. If we take into account the manhwa itself, I think it makes sense to call it irregular. I know we already have irregulars in the other ranks like Urek, Eden, Zahard, etc., 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 and obviously also Bam. But yeah, I mean, in this case, just consider it irregulars when they're actually using their potential, stuff like that. But this just the temporary ranking is not going to be permanent. Is only there until we have enough family head units. I will then move them in a separate category probably, and we will also have to wait to see how we can obtain those kind of units moving forward, because right now we only have a 0.1% chance to pull for TRAUMEREI, but once we get more units, we don't know what Marble is going to do. So for now, this is just a placeholder to put the family heads in, and they're obviously above the rest of the other teammates, not necessarily at 0 dupes, meaning that a TRAUMEREI at 0 dupes is not necessarily in irregular tier, but still I think it's kind of reasonable because he's way above other units where he excels in. So yeah, I would say that's more or less it for the regular ranking. In terms of what I changed for the existing ratings, I obviously added ALBELDA, and from my point of view she's S+, regardless on the Revolution investment. If you invest in Revolution 4 and 5, she gets the arrow up. I would say she's absolutely amazing. More for the Revolution 4 than for the Revolution 5, but Revolution 5 opens up and increases the rankings of some other units. One of them being Viol, that, as you remember, he was in A+ with an arrow up. Now I moved him in S tier with a link icon, because he needs ALBELDA Revolution 5 to be at this ranking. Without ALBELDA Revolution 5 is back down to A+. And that's it. Then let me see, I made some other changes. You will see that the S ranking here is a bit emptier, and that's because I moved down both Waryons from S ranking to A+ arrow up. The reason being they are not as useful as other units. Like, yes, Waryon has really good crowd control and Pierce, but so are other new units that we got, like Reflejo and Asensio. They both have physical resistance shred, so the additional Pierce is not as impactful. That's true. And the Pierce from Waryon is up 100% of the time, but it's only 32% when invested in Revolution. So yeah, you don't really use her that much. Still better than Awakened Rock, but I don't use her much anymore. Most of the, probably also because you don't really run a lot of physical damage dealers in this game at the moment. Most of the good units are dealing magic damage, except for Kaiser. But yeah, so she doesn't really have a lot of use cases to be worth of the S tier. When new units that synergize well with her will come out, she will move back up probably, but for now, I think A+ with an arrow up is more than reasonable. And for the support Waryon, I would say she kind of got outclassed by the other supports that we got in the game. Like, Nare is more efficient than her and more useful. We have ALBELDA that's more useful. Anak is a tank, but still has supporting capabilities that are better than support Waryon. The fact that she targets the highest attack unit, but you cannot really kill enemies with Rayana anymore at high deficits, I wouldn't really put her that high anymore, so I figured I would lower her down to A plus arrow up. I might even say she could get her arrow up removed soon, at least for the pre-Revolution 5 one, but afterwards she also gets a good attack buff, not as good as other units, and she doesn't have as good of an utility, but yeah, you kind of see my point, I hope, but we'll see. So yeah, this is the other two changes that I made, and then I moved down Zahard from S rank, I think it was arrow down, to A plus arrow up, though I could remove that as well. And the reason being, now we have TRAUMEREI, his shield breaking capabilities that were all he could offer other than just additional survivability due to the fact that he's invincible, are not really that needed anymore. So it kind of lost a bit of value there. PvP, still a great unit, but in PvE, this guy definitely does not deserve the S rank spot anymore. I would love to demote Endorse as well, Child Endorse, but I mean, she's okay. At least she blocks energy regen, and with the Revolution, she also steals some energy, so that's good. I don't think that would be enough to deserve this spot, but still okay. Still okay. Then that's pretty much all I changed for the Revolution 3 part. So I would say we can move on to the Revolution 6 part. Here we still have the irregular ranking with only TRAUMEREI in. Okay, let me just go a bit down. Perfect. And here I made a lot more changes. And well, obviously we see the same changes for both Varian reflected here. They both went down to A+. Both of the Revolution are nothing too insane. Varian got, like Red Mask Varian, got the passive from 16% to 32%, which is great, but again, not too useful in the current meta, so she's staying here. We have the attack percentage increase for support Varian. That could be okay somehow, but not as good as the increases that, for example, Xyxia got. It's just okay. And then we saw the decrease in rank of Romei. She was S rank before. I moved her down to A plus arrow up with a link, meaning she's only good with close range DPS units. And that's about it, because she needs to heal for a Revolution effect to apply, and that's pretty much inconsistent. I don't like it as much. Still okay with an Evankel, but not as important. If you have a Revolution invested ALBELDA with your Evankel, like, she's not even going to be damaged that much thanks to the Revolution 4 of ALBELDA, so Romei kind of loses her purpose. So I don't like her as much, never did. So to me, this is even too much for her, but she has some use cases, and if she works as intended, she's good. When she doesn't, obviously she's terrible. Another change I made is again, well, Viol. I moved it here, and I also gave him an arrow up. The arrow up is only due to the increase in crit damage that he gets from investing in the subnodes, and also the increased AoE on the banks that he can spam thanks to ALBELDA, Revolution 5. So he is better, for sure. Still not deserving the S plus rank, but now at least is kind of viable in some way. And is going to be buffed soon, and that will almost certainly push him up to S plus ranking. Then we have Akraptor. He was S rank a few months back, then I moved him down to A plus, and then I decided to move him back up to S rank and give him a link. This guy, also like a Viol, that will depend on Yellowy. Yellowy is a really good unit to increase crit rate and crit damage of ranged unit that don't have access to crit rate increases from Revolution. So really good. Not as important for Akraptor in terms of crit rate, because his special move will already have guaranteed crits, and yeah, I would say is more for the crit damage increase and the attack speed increase in a Craptor's case. And then a Craptor will also work well with ALBELDA. So from what I saw, he actually performs better than Viol. I didn't try much, but from the quick testings, it seemed a bit better. Still, for Viol's potential and the way that he's going to play out, like in the near future with his soon-to-be buffs, I still put a Viol a bit higher. A Craptor is also one of the units that could benefit from Red Mask Warrior. So yeah, he has some good teams where he shines. So I think S rank is definitely fitting for him, but I decided to give him the link icon as well. Then we have Jinsung. I gave him the arrow up. He didn't have it before, and I think he deserves it. He works really well with Garam and Anak teams. Kind of niche. He's not an assassin unit, like an assassin Rayana unit anymore. He kind of wants to play the fight a bit longer. And you can run him with Alocasia now, and it will work pretty okay. You will give up on the first kill, which you already cannot reliably get. So it's okay. I think this ranking with the new changes, with the new set and the new units are okay. I think is a really solid pick. Another change is Reflejo. I gave him the arrow up that he didn't have before. And the reason being, he's actually pretty tanky. He can survive high deficit thanks to the damage cap that he has after he casts the special move, and due to how easily he can cast it with all the energy we can get from other units, is a pretty solid tank option. He won't have like provokes or anything to draw attention from the enemies, but still I would say he has some nice utility. The resistance shred is there, and yeah, it is not bad. It's not bad at all, and we'll see. Might go higher, might go back to just S rank. I don't see him going lower than S rank just because of how like future proof his utility is. Like all the shreds he has, the evasion decrease is not as important, but still could be a valuable asset in the future if more evasion units, like more evasion centric units, are going to be released. Could be a good option and a good feature. So I don't see this guy moving that down. Maybe in the far future could go down to A+, but he's solid. It doesn't excel, but he's solid. It will stay in the fight for a long time. It will keep providing value, so I think that's deserved. I also gave the arrow up to Meliodas. I would say this guy has always been good. Revolution didn't make him justice. It just didn't give him anything. But still, his survivability is okay. And with the units we have now, like Garam and Anak, again, those two units are just broken. They work extremely well with Meliodas, and he will also be super tanky with a full damage build because he will have a 100% uptime on the damage cap received. So good, definitely a solid unit. We could make the case for Elizabeth as well, but yeah, I don't see them going higher. Meliodas could potentially be deserving of the S rank, but I don't feel like put him in there. It's just whatever. I think I should also give him the link icon actually. So let me do just that. Okay. And yeah, that's it for Meliodas. Zard is down here again. I moved Quaetro and Mulov to S rank. Both of them perform really well, but I gave them both the link icon. Quaetro will rely a lot on Anak and Garam to be at this ranking, like a lot of units. You see the pattern already. And then we have Mulov that will work really well with a Yellowy, with an Albelda, and like since he's relying on his special move, he also works well with Garam and a knack. So no surprises there. And yeah, his single target damage is absolutely amazing. His attack speed is crazy good. And his revolution upgrades are really solid. So Mulov definitely deserves this S rank. I tried him a bit recently and his damage is insane. Quietro's damage is not as high, but that's probably because I'm running it with a more defensive oriented build instead of a full damage one. But definitely huge burst potential if you can build him with more offensive stats. Like I would go for a slot 5 magic pierce. Slot 4 I would still keep magic resistance and then try to aim for like a 93% in both if you're running him with a Sela, which you might want to do it. So 93% in both resistances with Sela, with magic resistance slot 5. This guy will deal quite a bit of damage, and that is then going to be boosted by Garam, and it will spam special moves thanks to Anak. Unfortunately, Anak has survivability issues later on, so like maybe not as consistent, and you might need a few tries, but definitely super good combination. I gave Novik the arrow down because he's also suffering a lot from survivability issues. His utility is good, his buffs are great, but unfortunately the fact that he just dies too quickly is not the best thing. So I think an arrow down is totally deserved, and in the future we might see him go even down to A+. But we'll see. For now, still one of the best units that we have in the blue team. In the blue color, sorry. Then we have Blanc. She was S+ before Revolution 6. I moved her down to S arrow up. The reason being, she works extremely well with close range units or on a fully ranged team, because a lot of her buffing will come from the AoE circle that she will cast on a unit that needs healing. If you have a frontline unit that's taking all the damage and then you have your backline fully alive, chances are your backline is not getting that many heals and not getting the attack buff from a revolution. She's extremely good with Data Machine if you're running Data Machine as DPS, because Data Machine will always be low on health. She will always get the heals from Blanc. But with a Kaiser, not the best pair. Like in bossing, she's still fine because you kind of run all range units at the current moment. So depending on the boss fight, obviously, but she can then buff Kaiser pretty reliably. In adventure, you kind of want a frontline, and she is most likely going to heal them without providing the attack buff to Kaiser. So that's kind of why I decided to move her down. Amazing unit, don't get me wrong, but still, I think not quite on par with the other units that we have now in the S+ category. So yeah, that's the reason why. And same thing with regular Leroro. He was in S+ ranking before, too much for him, I would say. Not because he doesn't provide crazy good buffs, he does. He has the shield that parries every projectile, that's amazing. He also provides the magic pierce to all the team, and as I mentioned before, most of the damage dealers we have right now are magic damage dealers. The issue with him is his survivability is extremely lacking, and this guy is just a stupid close range unit. That's the only unfortunate thing. So he suffered more or less from the same issue that Novik has. He has great utility for the team, but unfortunately his survivability is not up to par. And yeah, that's just the issue. If you have Anniversary or Revolution 5 and you're running her in the same team, could be good, but could also be a downside, because you want units to survive when you play them with Anniversary Iwa, and Anniversary Iwa passive needs to be only for like when there is a burst from the enemy on your carry, or like only like important situations. You don't want her to be wasting it on units that are so squishy that just consume all her stacks. No, you want a pretty solid and tanky team with maybe one, maximum two squishy units. and one of the two must be the DPS unit. So that's kind of where Anniversary War Revolution 5 excels. If you have 4 squishy units, she's pretty much useless because she will waste all the stacks immediately and then you die. So yeah, that's basically one of the reasons why I moved him down. And yeah, I would say those are all the changes. And for ALBELDA that I didn't mention here, well, yeah, I mentioned her at the beginning. She is S plus with arrow up. Again, her Revolution 4 is crazy good. She gives 200 energy immediately to the first unit she links, and also all the other ones in case the linked ally dies, because she relinks to a new unit, and every time she does that, she applies the Sword of Protection that blocks like 5 attacks. Super good. And then she provides 200 energy, which is crazy to have a quicker first ult. So Revolution 4 is massive. Revolution 5 is niche, is used on an E-Rang with a Viol and with maybe even some supports at that point if you really care about some active skills. But yeah, super good, but at the current moment, super niche. Still, definitely deserving of the S plus arrow up, which is the highest ranking we have currently available, other than irregular, but as I mentioned before, nobody's going there other than family heads right now. It's just a placeholder. So yeah, that's more or less my tier list update. Let me know in the comments down below if you agree with this positioning, if you would change anything else, if you think I should be, I don't know, demoting some specific units like Hiwa that I definitely don't think belongs to A plus arrow down anymore. She's just not good enough, but I don't know who else to put there, and I don't want to leave this whole tier empty for the yellow element. I might move down some of the units here like Shibisu or Asensio. Well, no, Asensio, I think Asensio belongs to S rank. Not higher. I don't like the fact that he's a physical damage dealer. I don't like that. It doesn't synergize well in his own team and also in the other ones. Kinda meh. The fact that he can die in the small window is cast in the special move is also pretty annoying, but this survivability is top notch anyway. So yeah, we'll see. For now it stays like this, but there could be changes. So yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.